This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com. F gets the win. 10 minutes and 10 seconds. Meltzer would say the match had its ups and downs. There was some sloppiness early, but built well and good near falls at the end. An awesome bump, or Awesome took a bump from a missed drop kick by Edge. Then Storm nearly killed himself, taking a bump over the top. Then Christian slipped off Edge's back. His foot caught the ropes trying to do a big dive, and he could have also been hurt, but everyone seemed okay. Storm threw Christian into the post to start the heat on Christian. Christian reversed Awesome's power bomb off the top. Some good near falls. Awesome goes for the awesome bomb on Edge, but Christian spears him, and Edge falls on top for the pin. 2.5 stars. So a lot of Canadians here, and Mike Awesome and the WWF is on the scoreboard 1-0. What'd you think of this one?
Not bad opener. You know, I've always been, I have great respect for Lance Storm, still do. I think he's one of the best teachers that I've ever seen. His students are fundamentally sound and respect the business. But I was a big mark for Edge and Christian, you know, not just because I signed them both, but I like them. I like their passion and their willingness to be as great as they possibly can. So, but it was okay. You know, it was a cold match. The only thing going for it was the brand rivalry, because there's no issue between Edge and Christian and Lance Storm and Mike Awesome. So we got about as much out of it as we could, thanks to all four guys' efforts. It was okay.
Let's talk about Edge and Christian for a moment, because on TV prior to this, they had been mega heels, but now because of this invasion dynamic, they're kind of the baby faces. This is a new look for everybody, right?
Yeah, it was. Again, it was hard to connect the dots, because last week these guys were being booed and they were villains. These guys meaning Edge and Christian. And now, because of the color jersey they're wearing, so to speak, they're the good guys. And that was a disconnect for some people. But the match was fine for what it was, a cold match. Started the show. They were lucky they started the show because the crowd was so ready to see something. And so I thought those guys did a solid job. Was it the greatest opener? No, because there was no backstory of significance. But, you know, we got 2.5 stars by Meltzer's measurements. I consider that a success.
Well, how about this next match here? Earl Hebner is going to pin Nick Patrick in 2 minutes and 50 seconds. Appears for the first time at Madison Square Garden and wins the hardcore title. It's pushed as a big moment. And of course, MSG is the WWF's home in this era. But it's almost, I don't know, a little different to see him in the WWF. I was a big fan of what he did in Japan. And of course, in ECW, I don't know that WCW really did him justice, but it doesn't feel like he ever caught on with Vince McMahon. Why do you think that is? He had the size, he had the look.
He didn't connect to the audience. It's the intangible thing that you can't color or smell or paint a color on or whatever. And he just didn't have the charisma to connect with the audience. He was a mechanic and sometimes could be a little bit too stoic, I think, maybe. So, but so what we're saying is that my opinion that Bryan Danielson should have been nurtured and brought along got trumped by Mike Awesome. Okay, well, hell, that don't make any sense in hindsight. Now, at the time, of course, like you said, size is at a premium. Vince loves the big guys.
Yeah,
he's lessened that desire, seemingly anyway, here in the last few years, which is smart. You got to get the best players on the field, Conrad, and they're not all going to look alike, and that's the key thing. So I thought that, I like Brian Kendrick. I thought Brian Kendrick had an upside, but again, the size aspect just bit him in the ass, and that was no fault of theirs. But that's what the consensus was. And then again, you've got writers who have influence of Vince in the creative meetings, because they're in front of him all the time for several hours a day at times. And, you know, they didn't have a good feel for it. They didn't have a feel for Brian, for Kendrick, or for Bryan Danielson. And of course, but they knew Vince loved big guys. So they're going to throw their hat in that ring, because they don't want to cross the boss. So it wasn't objective and it wasn't a good decision, but there were a lot of things that were questionable decisions at that point in time that were very frustrating.
Let's talk about Kurt Angle and Steve Austin. Both of these guys are hurt. And hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at savewithconrad.com.